Hello, folks. Welcome to this week's Forex commentary. And yeah, happy new week. Before I get started, if probably by chance you get this video first, before the previous video I dropped, I just want to notify that I kind of like started my YouTube mentorship and uploaded the first module of the 10-part series, and it's up on my YouTube channel. Okay, so and I created a playlist for it. So if you check for the mentorship, you're gonna see the core lecture series and stuff. So before we delve into major analysis, I think we have to have a little bit of conversation on dollar index and with respect to my expectation at the start of the week and my adjustment during the week and how markets they really unfolded. So last week we looked at dollar index on the monthly time frame. We talked about the previous monthly low as the draw on liquidity, and we're looking at this fair value gap here. Okay, and in my mind, I was thinking we're still in consolidation. So I bet I wasn't expecting the markets to move this much in the same week. And it's actually good to see, really, regardless of the fact that, not gonna lie, it caught me off guard. I wasn't expecting that, okay? But we still had to adjust to price action, and that was one of the reasons why on my Twitter account this week I just did, and I focused on sharing setups because that would even help more. Other than just talking about adjustment, I'm actually having interest to join the ongoing expansion. Okay, and I couldn't get in on any trades on euro or pound last week because they were very, very expansive. Periods when I would have gotten in, I think that was on Tuesday, I wasn't around, so I just completely missed those trades. But I had other good trades on other pairs, and yep. So now the question is, now we trade into previous monthly low and we trade into this fair value gap. What's going to happen next? I mean, that's the $2 million question, because I always recall, talking about when prices hit, previous monthly low, previous weekly low, the money wait. And the fun fact is, last week markets were just going through highs as though they were nothing, and these were the quadruples that we've been having back and forth, and we've been calling moves, okay, but price action wasn't it wasn't sustained, just back and forth and all of that. So what's going to happen now that prices have traded into this fair value gap here, the BC, buy side imbalance, sell side inefficiency? What is my expectations? What do I think for price? Okay, first off, on the monthly chart, we are very extended in terms of the monthly range. Okay, and truth is, I do not know what the markets are going to do. Okay, the only thing I can see from candlesticks is that there was an expansion last week, and the probability that the expansion will continue this week is still high because we're still in the early portion of March. And of course, this week could really consolidate. I mean, because there's so much expectation this week for the markets to continue, and how this price action unfolds, how this markets trade, and all of that is very. They enjoy prying on the psychology of traders, basically. So I'm still going to be neutral. I'm still going to look at levels. I'm going to call out levels, and I'll focus on market validating certain expectations that key time of day at the certain day of the week to understand if we're going to have a bearish week. Okay, but on the monthly time frame, since this is the monthly chart and we've seen markets go through the previous monthly low, trade into this gap. Now, ideally, you wouldn't be expecting gaps like this for support. No. Do you know why? Because now that we understand high time from institutional order flow, and we understand that the institutional order flow is bearish. Now, when markets are returning into inefficiencies, okay, the markets will be returning into these inefficiencies to rebalance them completely. Now, look at periods how market utilized this gap, for example, when prices were bearish. You can see markets run through a little bit here, above relatively equal highs here, and sold off from this gap. But the next time prices were going to return into this fair value gap when order flow is bullish, they completely rebalanced this inefficiency. And that's why, I was talking about this gap, saying this is an objective in dollar index and we're buried. So we're likely to see, a turning point from here. And, that's it. The markets move for two reasons. And now it depends on how you validate or, blending the narrative for those reasons, for liquidity reasons and for inefficiency. Okay, the markets are seeking to deliver prices efficiently, and the market moves from one pool of liquidity to the next. I mean, you can even talk about how prices run through sell side here, and just when we were bullish. Okay, so you can see sell side, institutional order flow bullish. That's a torso. Sell side here, listen, institutional order flow bullish. How did I define the institutional order flow? Well, you can just go to the mentorship, and that was our first lesson, becoming of traders. So this month we're seeing the markets completely rebalance here, which is absolutely fine. I mean, it's what I would expect, basically, for the markets to completely rebalance. But what I wouldn't expect is markets doing it in a single week. I mean, that was very crazy. And then we have a discount fair value gap. It means, I want to see the market straight down here. I want to see the market straight down there. Okay. And still yet, we're still going to stay on the side of sanity, really, because the market did this last week. It doesn't mean I'm going to have this unrealistic expectation every single week, because this is very unrealistic. It barely happens. It barely happens. Just once in a while, this kind of thing happens. So we can see we have on the monthly time frame, we have a new drawn liquidity. And the new drawn liquidity is for markets to return into this discount fair value gap. Now, markets could return into discount gap and reject, or the markets could trade into midpoint, reject, or the markets could completely close it before making a rejection, or the markets will make no rejection at all, because I don't know how much these guys are willing to move this month. I don't know if this week is going to be like a protraction phase and markets make a continuation, because now everyone is well adjusted to price action, and everyone is going to have expectations about how the dollar index are going to move. Okay, so this is a drawn liquidity on the monthly chart, and we're going to transpose this on the weekly time frame. I'm not paying. Get out. Alright, so if you look closely here, the weekly chart, let me take this one now that we can see what we want to do. Ideally, I only just need this one because this is the entry into the fair value gap. So I recall us talking about this inversion fair value gap, saying ultimately we want to see downside from here, and the markets just open and gave total downside into sell side liquid pool here, and um this old gap. Okay, so I think this was the election time period gap. Yeah, I think this was the election gap. I think so. The election gap last year, and this is the monthly discount fair value gap. This is the draw on the query here, and last week was very one-sided, validating the monthly bias, because I told you the weekly time frame validates the monthly bias, the daily time frame validates the weekly bias, and weekly bias here is bearish, but I'm thinking that the markets are likely to draw into here. Now, why do I think the markets are going to draw into here? Because if I'm looking for an ideal continuation, I want to see it from here. Why? You can see this is a gap. It's void of buy side and it's void of sell side. And the market last week delivered sell side into this inefficiency, this gap. So, and we understand that the market moves for two reasons. One, for liquidity reasons, and two, for inefficiency reasons. Markets will deliver prices and deliver prices efficiently. So I'd like to see the markets return into this gap before we have, a lasting continuation. It doesn't mean the markets can, start selling today. I mean, markets could go lower into previous weekly low, into the monthly gap, and probably set the stage for a short-term rally into this gap here, because I think the markets would have to return here to completely rebalance this efficiency. It now depends on how the markets trade here. It could trade into its institutional order flow entry drill and continue, or the midpoint, or completely close this gap, or completely deliver buy side delivery into this gap, and then we have a continuation lower. Okay, so basically my expectation for a long-term continuation dollar index doesn't mean we can engage in monthly discount fair value gap, but a longer term continuation. Okay, that's the level I'll be eyeballing, and to see the markets trade here, then into this discount fair value gap. Mind you, this discount weekly fair value gap overlaps the entire monthly fair value gap range. Okay, because now that we're bearish and we're in the market maker sell model, I want to see the market straight here into our discount, the final discount objective. All right, so that being said, let's go to the daily chart and let's see what the daily time frame is looking like. Really, so looking at the daily time frame, okay, you see that last week every single week we had down close candles last week, but going into Friday, you can see Thursday, actually when Thursday traded into a discount, you can see the rejection on Thursday's trading. Okay, and Friday traded into the same discount and having the same rejection, closing inside of Thursday's range. Okay, this rejection is salient to markets respecting some level of support, but still the markets are heavy. Okay, so I wouldn't know what the markets are likely to do today, and since my interest is trading in weekly range, and I think the draw on liquidity, okay, at some point this draw on liquidity and high time for institutional order flow gets confusing, because the market needs to trade into this level here, but I don't know if the market has interest in trading here. That's the issue, because this would be my own expectation for the markets to trade here, ideal scenario, then we have a continuation, but the markets could continue going lower first and probably at a later time return here. So I need to see what happens today, as always, not trading on Monday, because my focus is trying to capture the bulk of the weekly range. Okay, so I want to see how Monday trades, if Monday has any intention of markets returning here. And I understand that on the monthly time frame, the markets are likely, very likely, to engage sell side here. Okay, so it just depends on how the market trades. This is looking like a bullish indication that markets are likely to make a retracement. Now, in very trending periods, okay, the markets don't seek premium like it would here, returning to premium, consolidate, returning to premium and stuff. Okay, the market, in trending condition, the market seek near-term inefficiencies, okay, for a continuation. So now that we have a near-term inefficiency, so a continuation on the weekly time frame would be ideal from this level here, okay, because the weekly high would be priced in from a key level, and this is the only key level that makes sense for a continuation. Okay, so let's go to euro dollar, and okay, the monthly time frame, you can see very expansive. Then look at how in the previous two months dealt with it dealt with me specifically, because trying to capitalize on the bulk of this move since February, January, and the markets just keep going back and forth. Very, very frustrating, really, especially when you can literally see institutional order flow, and you have an expectation and the market is not validating those expectations. It's very crazy. Okay, so now that you can see we've gone through this monthly fair value gap, the anticipation is for the markets to trade into the premium fair value gap here. So on the weekly chart, okay, this is the same monthly gap. The idea that the markets are going to run into a premium, that's this premium fair value gap. So markets, my intention, my anticipation is for prices to trade into a premium here. This monthly, this weekly time frame premium fair value gap. So we have the monthly gap, which on the weekly time frame it has become an inversion level. Okay, we've seen a weekly close. So on the weekly chart, I'm expecting the markets to utilize this level here as support. Now we have other levels here, this premium weekly fair value gap, this weekly gaps. Now these gaps overlapping the monthly time frame, I'd like to see if the market will show willingness to return here. Okay, and when we drop down to the daily chart, okay, let me put let's let this show on the daily time frame. Okay, all right, so on the daily time frame you can see it's overlapping some daily fair value gap. Okay, I'm not thinking of markets returning here, but that'll be weird for a trending market, don't you think so too? Right? So the intention for markets to return to near-term levels, near-term order blocks, because this would serve as a daily order block. But you can see how this candle closed inside the range of this candle. So it has a potential, owing to the fact that we're trying to an objective, an old breakaway gap. So markets could just return here. So running a daily bullish order block, a down candle, when the high time from institutional order flow is bullish, that would be a tortoise basically. Okay, because in a bull market, you want to see down close candles supporting prices, but that's the ideal scenario in when the high time from institutional order flow is bullish. But in the real world, when high time from institutional order flow is bullish, market run down close candles. Recall when I was talking about markets consolidating, and when market runs below the swing point, I'm going to be a buyer. We call that analysis. Okay, but see how the market stretched. But obviously, this happened overnight, and we've been buying since. Market has been bullish since. Now look at this down close candle. Market ran bullish order block, but bullish. So the market was heavily manipulated. In the past couple months. In February and January, and that's market. So ideally down close candles should offer support, but when down close candles are being violated, and you know what the high time from institutional order flow is, mind you, high time from institutional order flow is the back end, candlesticks reflecting what the fundamentals are saying is the front end. This is what you're saying, but the back end, that's the high time from institutional order flow, what defines where markets are going to go to. Now, your study with technical analysis, your job as a technical analyst is to define when and where. Okay, but the high time frame institutional order flow already tells you that the markets are in a buy or sell program. Your job then is to define where are we buying from and where are we buying from. That's through key levels, when, blend time. All right, so let's go to pound. I think pound price action is so interesting in the past couple weeks. Okay, it has always been validating strength. So, sell side, buy program, bullish, close above this high, change in state in delivery, market utilize, expand, run buy side liquidity here, close above this gap, draw liquidity here. Why? High time from institutional order flow is bullish. So even if we run through this high, the high time from institutional order flow still predefines that markets are still likely to expand. Okay, not me. We're still in a buy program in foreign assets. So the market still has the propensity to expand. Now, where is it going to expand from? Technical analysis. I'm plotting out this inversion fair value gap because it offered resistance here. Now, markets run through, close above support. So my intention is to see if markets are going to show willingness to return back here. Now, when markets return here at key time of day of the week, put all of the ingredients like a mad scientist, and I can then begin looking for setups. Okay, to where? Premium fair value gap. I hope you found this one insightful. In the meantime, be safe now. Don't forget to like, comment, ask questions, share with community and all of that stuff. I'll see you in the next one.